Am I the butthole for emasculating my husband in front of his parents? Throwaway because I do not want my brother-in-law or husband to find my real account. I, female, 25, have been dating my husband, 30M, for 5 years, and we've been married for 2. He is very much a traditional man's man, but it never bothered our relationship till now, so I didn't care. 2 days prior, he wanted to visit his parents now that we are all vaccinated. He asked me to come too, and I complied since 2 really enjoy most of his family. We went and had a great time until his father suggested a drinking contest. Basically a family tradition to see who could drink the most cups of watered-down beer in a set time. It's usually only my father-in-law, husband, brother-in-law, and sister-in-law's husband. This time I wanted to try out 2 and challenge my husband to 1. He laughed and said okay. Well, I won and he got very frustrated. He pulled me into an empty room and started saying how I embarrassed him and it was emasculating for him and how I should be sorry. I told him to not get so serious and left the room. After 2 hours or so of cold stares from my husband, I suggested leaving. He said he wanted to stay at his brother's house for the day and drove there while leaving me to walk to home. It's around 45 minutes away walking distance. I found what he did kind of petty, but at night my brother-in-law calls me, tells me how upset my husband was because I humiliated him and made him feel like less of a man. I called my husband and apologized, but he has not returned to me since. So Reddit, am I the butthole for emasculating my husband in front of around 10 family members? Not the butthole. He emasculated himself with his reaction. I'm unsure how it's even emasculating, like on a personal level. Didn't she also beat the other relatives as well? I wasn't clear if it was the whole family thing or just them. Rereading it, I'm not sure anymore. I kind of thought it would be brother-in-law, father-in-law, husband, etc., all going at it at once, but then I reread that she challenged him to 1. You're not the butthole. Original poster. It's not my job to make you feel like a man. I can't make you something you're not. Astrid Leong. ETA, thank you, kind strangers. But if you need to pay for the awards, better donate it to charity instead, please. Smiley face. Excellent. Cause some people think you aren't a man unless I can eat a lot, drink a lot, and F a lot. And if a woman can do any of those things more than you, then it shatters the fragile ego of the person who based his worth on overconsumption. It's really effing stupid. A lot of grown male children cannot handle it if a woman is better than them at anything. I've dated one these. Beat him at Mario Kart? I'm a bad driver, in real life, and he never wants to play Mario Kart against me again because I'm so bad at it. Playing soccer with him and his friends, and I'm actually good at it? I get a soccer ball accidentally kicked into my face. By him. Get stalked and harassed by a couple of guys in a car wearing bandanas over their faces while walking home late one night, and my fight or flight kicks into fight, and he runs away? He brings it up years later, talking about how he's trained now. I finally tell him that I think we should break up? He tells me I'm too masculine for him, woman shrugging. At least you dodged the bullet and didn't marry him. But didn't dodge the ball. Same. Dated someone who I could never play 2P games with because the instant I won once, this game is bullcrap, that was a fluke, you're taking all the fun out of it by playing serious, I was only goofing around. Didn't matter if it was a fighting game like Injustice, Smash, or Mortal Kombat, racing game like Mario Kart, board games like Duel. Crap, even co-original poster games like Portal if I figured out the solution and told him what to do, or Overcooked if he was the one slowing us down. One time he commented while I was playing a single-player game that this next boss is really hard, and then pouted for the rest of the night when I one-shot it. Even crap like me letting him come along on a run, he got tired and wanted to turn around and then got mad that I was going to finish my run, since I was far less than halfway of my usual course. Why was I so blind when I was younger? My hubby still says one of the moments he fell in love with me was when I kicked his butt on Tekken 3 laughing out loud. Why are some men insecure like this? The best relationships are where you treat each other as partners and equals. Best friends as well as lovers. My hubby has never treated me as less than ever. Our marriage has had ups and downs like anyone, but can't imagine life without him, and next year will be our silver wedding. I would worry a man that insecure also believes in traditional roles and would want to stay at home meek and mild wife. Original poster may find this is the moment she realizes he isn't the one for her. Not the butthole. He needs to apologize for his crazy reaction, and they need to have a discussion about their relationship. Yeah, stunted emotional growth makes for selfish and varying degrees of abusive adults. Emotionally immature adults with their entitledness and selfish behavior are the true plague of our world, in my opinion. At least they're easy to recognize because they all behave in similar ways. They want other people to be considerate of their needs, wants and emotions, while not doing the same in return. They manipulate, whine, sulk, bully, or any other tactic to get their way. They escalate if it doesn't work. They deny, accuse, and reverse victim and offender. And they never sincerely apologize, because they're never wrong. Edited, accidentally added the comment. Darn thumbs. Why would you be sorry? It was a contest and you won. It's that simple. If his ego is that fragile, and he reacted that strongly over something so silly, I'd be concerned about what else will emasculate him in the future. I'd say marriage counseling may be in order. This is the kind of thinking that can truly derail a marriage over time, and it's probably best to head it off at the pass. Not the butthole. If his ego is that fragile, and he reacted that strongly over something so silly, I'd be concerned about what else will emasculate him. Makes me wonder. How fragile is his ego? Seriously, a drinking game? That's what he is crying about? A game. Original poster is in trouble. Exactly. What else will emasculate him? Changing diapers? Making more money than he does? This isn't a small issue. I know, right? My cousin first got the attention of her husband by winning the chugging contest at his frat house through multiple rounds. I totally agree. But we're also talking about a guy who was raised by a guy who regularly challenges his son-in-laws to drinking contests. Gross. It sounds like the basis of the male interactions is a dick measuring contest. Honestly, this behavior should be zero surprise to have seen this toxicity turned on her like this. I feel like she's definitely not the butthole for legit winning this dumb contest, but key find a TA for marrying a guy like this. He's a man's man, then acting surprised at his hyper-macho behavior. Not only that, he ditched her and made her walk home and then got her to apologize for not dimming herself, so he could pretend to shine. Original poster, you never have to pretend to be less to shore up a sad man's ego. This would be a huge red flag for me. Also, he made original poster walk for 45M. Da F. What kind of child is he? I would be appalled at that. He also drove after slamming an unknown amount of alcohol. Great wording. He was acting like a child. But I want to know, why isn't anyone mentioning she had to walk home, which is 45 minutes away? I mean, he seriously made his wife walk home. Not the butthole. What's truly emasculating is the fact that he's hiding out at his brother's house acting like a petulant child over a contest. He should be embarrassed by his actions after losing, not by the fact that he lost. I hope you are using effective birth control, because you certainly don't want to deal with being a single parent for God knows how long, since this is probably how he'll react if a child turns out to be good at something he isn't. Or good forbid if original poster and their husband have a tomboy daughter, gay son, or trans child. The future of the possible immaturity of this man gets much more frightening the longer the relationship lasts. Yeah, I just don't get it. It isn't emasculating to lose a contest. In every contest there is one winner, everyone else loses. It isn't manly to be a sore loser. It isn't womanly to be a sore loser. It isn't adulty to be a sore loser. And frankly, by the time a kid gets to elementary school, it's pretty effing old if you're a family that plays a lot of games. This is toddler crap. It ain't that hard to get. It's the same effing old logic that states it's humiliating for a man to lose to a woman because women are supposed to be weak and overall inferior. It's just that, always has been as simple as that. I rarely suggest divorce on so little information, but his reaction to this and him leaving original poster to walk home alone has me singing divorce. Original poster's young, most people her age aren't married yet. This guy is showing his true colors, and if I was her I'd be out of that relationship so damn fast, because I don't want a man like this being the father to my children. Emasculating isn't a real thing. A man is a man. A woman can't take his identity away by winning at something. His insecurity is his problem. If he'd laughed it off or given her a high five, no one would even remember 10 minutes later. Her problem is that she's just found out she's married to a petty jerk who will take any small victory of hers as a personal attack. Seriously. Also, he's staying with a family member like this is some kind of crisis? Let him stay there indefinitely. I just can't wrap my head around this mentality. My girlfriend kicked my butt at Cub the other day. It was awesome. He should be embarrassed that he took the car and left her to walk for nearly an hour. What the actual F? If this is all it takes to make him feel less of a man, he wasn't much of a man to begin with. Not the butthole. Username checks out. Indeed. Statement was reasonable and I love that you pointed out the username. A real man would have accepted defeat and congratulated his wife. Seriously. A real man would have bragged that his lady is the boss. Agreed. Emasculated has got to be the most whiny word in the English language. Not the butthole, he's a sore loser. I'd swoon if my wife surprised me with a win in a contest like this. Instead of being proud of you, he forced you to walk home? He is a major butthole. Right? If my girl beat me in a chugging contest, I'd be lifting her on my shoulders with pride. 0% chance of that happening, but still, a man can dream. Original poster, you're definitely not the butthole. He sounds very insecure, and he honestly emasculated himself over the rest of the day by acting like a giant toddler. Nothing less manly than whining about losing. I'm going with not the butthole because I don't believe women should make themselves lesser, weaker, dumber to protect a man's ego. While he can of course feel however he feels, being petty and refusing to be around you seems an over-the-top reaction to him not drinking as fast as you. I agree with you, but I kind of want to say YTA, edit, to herself, because of the apology. It's so frustrating that a lot of women still feel they have to apologize for doing absolutely nothing wrong / being themselves / basically existing. To patch up some fragile man's scratched ego, especially when he wouldn't do the same for them. An apology will only make men like this feel like they were right, their behavior is justified, after all she was in the wrong, hence the apology. But otherwise not the butthole. I have a feeling that currently he makes more money than original poster, because if he acts like this over a silly competition in the family, I can imagine how he would act if original poster makes more money, or how he will act if original poster gets a raise and starts making more money than he does. Not the butthole. He is not a man's man at all. A man would not be threatened at all and cheer on your win. He is a child pretending to be a man by covering himself with stereotypically manly lifestyle choices, but since he is only pretending, it won't take much to reveal the toddler playing dress up. He is incredibly insecure in his masculinity. This though. Real manly men have zero concern about whether or not something will make them look like less of a man because they are 100% confident in themselves. They just are. My husband once wore a purple mini skirt for a joke and no one has ever questioned his masculinity. Most hilarious thing ever. Wait, he took a car and you had to walk home? 45 minutes walking distance? You had no money? Why, your relatives have not helped you? And you apologized? Edit, this situation is bizarre. What stopped original poster from returning to the house and asking someone for help? Was she worried that mother-in-law would chase her away? While ringing a bell and screaming shame? So much this. If a guy did that to me, the 45-minute walk would be me calling friends and family to meet me at the house for a blitz move. One might even pick me up on the way. A blitz move is exactly what it sounds like, moving out fast. That jackass would not be coming home to a contrite and apologetic lady waiting to greet him with a hot meal. He'd be coming home to only his own stuff. And if I owned the property, all his stuff would be gone, and a male friend would be waiting to greet him at the lock's already changed door with the storage facility info and keys to where his stuff would be, that I would pay 1 month for. Because someone who behaves this way is not worth it, and never will be. Not the butthole. His behavior about losing is actually more emasculating than you beating him in a silly game. You're the butthole for apologizing to him. What kind of drinking contest involves watered down beers? Not the butthole. Original poster replies. Ones where you have to drive back home. Not the butthole. He made you walk home. I'd be sending divorce papers to his brother's house. No, you did not. Your husband is acting like a child. You should ask him how many grown men get upset when they lose. Honestly, I would get the F out. That behavior is not singular and will continue to happen. If you plan on keeping this guy, now would be the time to tell him the truth straight up. He has an issue and is immature, that it's a red flag indicating unacceptable behavior. It's also manipulative and emotional abuse. Insist on therapy immediately and nip this in the bud. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.